Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we are sitting down and I'm gonna do like a foundation roundup kind of video. Think Taylor wins sort of foundation roundup videos. I've been trying 6 new foundations over the past 3-ish sort of months. They're all the new complexion products that I have tried recently, and I want to just kind of break them down for you guys. I'll let you know if I like them, if I don't, what I like about them, what I recommend them to you guys, all of the above. Before we get started, don't forget I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday for you guys. If you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. And other than that, if you're excited and you want to see a little foundation roundup of all the foundations I've been trying recently, then let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, I have 6 foundations here to talk to you guys about. Just to let you know, I don't have any of them on my face right now, if that kind of gives you a little inkling of my thoughts on all 6 of them. Also, this eye look was directly inspired by my girl Kelly from K-Bell Beauty. She did a 2 looks 1 palette with the Pat McGrath Bridgerton palette, and she made this eye look. I can have that video linked down below for you to check out. And when she made the eye look on that video, I was like, oh man, that is stunning. I am recreating it. So I did that today. I did not film myself getting ready or anything like that, but all of my makeup will be listed and linked down below like usual. Because I have 6 of them, I'm going to try to be very concise and quick so this video is not a million years long. I know you guys know. You guys know, I know, we all know that I like to just talk, and sometimes I get long-winded, so I'm going to try not to do that for you guys today. I am going to start off with one that is very new to me because I already know my thoughts. I don't need to try it out more than 2 times. So that is the e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is their Camo Powder Foundation. I have the shade Fair 120N. Now, I went ahead and took like application shots for all of the other 5 products that I'm going to be talking about. I did not do that with this because it is so new to me. I wasn't planning on including it in this video, but like I said, I already have my thoughts on it, and I did go ahead and do a full first impressions and then a wear test video on it. I can have linked in the eye and down below in case you missed it. That way you can see it applied in that video if you want to check that out. I hate this. I hate this so much. It is a awful powder foundation, and I feel bad saying that, but it just did not look good on my skin at all. So this is what it looks like in the compact, and then underneath it has a little sponge for you to use. In the video, I did try out the sponge, and it just was so bad on my skin. Like I said, I got the shade Fair 120N. It's way too light on me. Technically it's not. It actually like matches my neck and my chest, but I don't like to match my neck and my chest because then I'm literally a piece of paper. So I don't like that. I like to go a smidge deeper, not much deeper, but a smidge. And this is too light on me. Also, I did try it again. I do want to let you know, because in that video, I applied it with a sponge. It looked terrible on me. Then I tried to put it on top with a brush, and it still didn't really alleviate the issues that I was having. But I do want to let you know I tried it again for work the other day, and I just used it with a big dense brush and just kind of like fluffed it and buffed it on my face, which is how a lot of people were saying to try it and how a lot of people like to use powder foundations. And it just still did not look good on my skin. It is so incredibly drying. This foundation, I know it's a powder foundation, but I've tried powder foundations in the past that are not this drying on me. So incredibly drying, does not look good, emphasizes pores, wears absolutely terribly, breaks down on me, gets oily. I don't understand how it's so dry in the beginning and then so oily by the end of the day. I just would hard pass on this. Hard pass. I know it's e.l.f. I know it's a new launch. It's their Camo line, which I have enjoyed other products in that line in the past, but this is not it. I'm not going to be ranking these. I thought about that. Trust me, I thought about it. I thought about going from like best to worst or worst to best, but I figure I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to like surprise you and throw in ones I like, throw in ones I don't like, so you never know what's coming at you. So next we have the Nars. This is their Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I have the shade Mont Blanc Light 2. I'm going to try to say positives and negatives about the foundations because none of them I'm like head over heels in love with. This, I can't really find that much of a positive. It's affordable. It's $11 or $14. I think it's 11. So maybe that's my positive for the e.l.f. that it's affordable and it's accessible. You can get it from Ulta and e.l.f.'s website. Other than that, I don't have a ton of positive remarks about it. For all the other ones, I feel like I do have some positives and some negatives. Again, we're talking about Nars. First of all, this is not a good color match on me at all. It is way too like orangey tone. I'm not sure why it doesn't match me. The description of it is like neutral, light, very light neutral or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's me. That's definitely me, my skin tone, my undertones. And this does not match me. Like I said, it's very, very orange, a little bit too deep and dark on me. Not the worst shade match ever, ever, ever. I can make it work, but not a good one. It's also a little bit on the thicker side, which I don't hate that. I don't hate that in a foundation, but because it's so thick and it's drying, it's definitely a matte foundation. When they say soft matte complete, they mean matte. It is definitely very, very matte. So because of that, it can be a little bit hard to blend out. When I put it on and start like blending it in, I just feel like it dries very quickly. So because of that, it's hard to blend out. And also because of that, it kind of emphasizes like all the dryness I have on my skin. Also, for some reason, when I put it on my hand and then use my beauty blender to like stipple it in and blend it into my face, I get this really weird like balling effect on my hand, which I don't understand. Thank goodness it doesn't happen on my face, but for some reason, the foundation on my hand like balls up. I don't know, it's very odd. Those are all my cons. However, a positive of it is I feel like it has pretty good coverage. I do. It definitely is not like the most full coverage foundation I've ever tried, but it definitely does provide enough coverage for me. I enjoy using this mixed in with my Purito Cica Clearing BB Cream. That's my favorite way to use it. It gives it a little bit more luminosity to it. It helps kind of color correct the orangeness, and it just makes it look better on my skin. And also, because this is a more matte, thicker sort of foundation, it wears pretty nicely on my skin as well. It wears for quite a long time, doesn't really break up or anything like that. So definitely some pros and cons, not my favorite, not the worst ever. All right, next up we have a foundation that I hate. And I know I'm using hate for the e.l.f. one and this one. I know that's a really strong word, you guys, but I'm not kidding you. I do not like this foundation at all. And it is the Rcma Liquid Foundation. If you have been around for a while and you've seen some of my videos, this probably is not going to be much of a surprise to you because I have tried to like this foundation, you guys, and I cannot get it to look good on my skin. First of all, if you can see it in there, it's almost like broken up, and even when I shake it up, that like doesn't go away. So because of that, when I pump it out, it's like really liquidy and almost oily on my hand, and I just don't understand that. It's like a very thin, liquidy sort of consistency, which I typically don't mind in a foundation, but it's oily. But then somehow when I put it on my face, it's just very, very drying on my skin. So I don't understand that at all. It's the most perplexing, confusing foundation ever because I blend it into my skin and it feels oily, it looks oily, and yet it emphasizes every single solitary dry patch on this face. It is awful. And then I go to set it down because it feels oily and it makes it look even drier. I've tried multiple different primers, setting powders, setting sprays. I have tried it all with this baby right here to get it to work out, and I cannot find the combination that works for me. The only good thing, I'm so sorry, that I have to say about this is it's got a pretty decent shade range, and they've got it broken up into a really easy way to find your shade. They have an N series for neutral, they have a G series for like golden warm, and then they have a P series for like pink cool undertones, and they have 12 shades in each, so 36 shades total is a pretty decent shade range, and you can get samples on their website, which in hindsight, I probably should have done that instead of just going for the whole big shebang full size. But yeah, that's the only positive I have found. If you have tried this, let me know. The only other person I know who has tried this foundation besides Tati, who loves it, and that's the reason why I purchased this foundation, is Martina Lily here on YouTube, and she doesn't like it either. I don't think she has the disdain for it like I do, but she doesn't like it. So if you've tried this, let me know your thoughts down below, please. Let me know what products you use with it, what your skin type is, why you like this, because I cannot find any redeemable quality about this foundation. I just realized I didn't tell you the shade in this, so sorry about that. I have the shade N110. Next up, we have the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. This has hyaluronic acid. It's supposed to be long wearing. I picked up the shade 002 Neutral Ivory. So this one right here is probably the best shade match on me out of all 6 of the products that I'm talking about today. It's definitely not perfect. It's still a little bit orangey, sort of yellowy undertone, but it's definitely the best of all of the ones I'm talking about. It has pretty decent coverage as well when you apply it to the skin. It blends in pretty nicely. It doesn't like dry too quickly. It's not too like thick or cakey or too thin or liquidy. It's a pretty decent consistency for a foundation. However, it is a little bit drying, which I don't understand. It literally says it's a hydrating foundation that has hyaluronic acid. So when I put it on my skin, why does it emphasize all my dryness? I don't know. This is another one that I have tried with multiple different primers. I love a hydrating primer, and this, I don't know, it doesn't seem to like do much for this foundation. It doesn't seem to help the dryness. Is it the most drying foundation I've ever tried? No, definitely not. I can definitely blend it in and make it work. It also wears pretty decently throughout the day. It is drying when I first apply it, like I said, but by the end of the day, I feel like it does mesh with my natural oils of my skin and then whatever setting spray I go in with to set it down. And by the end of the day, it usually is fine. It's not too drying or like broken up or cakey or anything like that. This isn't my favorite of the 6, but it's definitely in the top 3 for sure. It's just okay. I feel like it's an okay foundation. It's not terrible. It's not amazing, but also it's kind of annoying that Catrice can only be found on their website now. So you have to buy it from their website. You can't go in store and swatch it and try to figure out your correct shade, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's also affordable. So it's like give and take, you know what I mean? Not awful, but not the best. Second to last, we have the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. So I picked up the shade Porcelain in this. Again, this is not a good shade match for me. It is way too orange. And I have found that in a lot of drugstore sort of foundations and more affordable foundations that they do tend to run a little bit orangey on me. I'm not sure why. Again, this is another product that claims to be hydrating that has hyaluronic acid in it that looks drying on my skin when I first apply it. This definitely looks very, very drying on my skin. Like it looks like it is like flaking on my forehead especially, and then here, mainly my T-zone, which tends to be the area that I do look dry in. And setting it down with a powder does seem to dry it out a little bit more. However, it wears very nicely on the skin. I do think it wears well throughout the day. It doesn't really break up on me. It gets a little oily, but nothing terrible. Also, this definitely has the coverage that it claims to have, which is kind of the reason why I don't love it. I do wish it had a little bit more coverage, but it literally says sheer to medium coverage. 1,000,000%. I would say this is low, medium, maybe high, light coverage. If you are new here, that is not really my jam. I have redness in my skin, acne scars. I have a lot that I want to cover. So because this doesn't have a ton of coverage, I don't love it for that reason, but also it has the coverage that it says it has. So it's just kind of like a personal preference. One of my friends, Courtney, uses this and she actually likes it a lot. So I think this is more of a personal preference why I don't absolutely love it, but I don't mind it. I don't hate it. When I do want to go in with maybe a little bit lighter of a coverage for the day, maybe I'm having a good skin day. Those don't happen very often, but every once in a while they do. I can go ahead and spot conceal, put this on. It does end up looking fine once I like spot conceal, like I said, set it all down. All my makeup is done. You can't really see that redness and acne scars peeking through very much, you know what I mean? But yeah, again, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And last but not least, we have the Neutrogena Flawless Matte CC Cream. So this is probably, honestly, of all the 6 products, this is probably my favorite of the 6. However, I think it's the worst shade match on me. I have the shade Shell 1.0, which is the lightest one it comes in, I believe, don't quote me, but I'm like 99% sure it is. And it is still way too dark on me and way too orange. I don't understand why or how the undertone on this is so orangey, but it is. Like I have to drag it so far down my neck and like make sure I stipple it and blend it in to make it look okay. It's another one kind of like the Nars that it is on the thicker side. Actually, these are very similar to each other. Just letting you know. I don't know if they're dupes. I'm not really a duping sort of channel, but if you wanted to try this and you don't want to spend the money on it, I think that these are very similar. But like I said, it is on the thicker side. It's also very matte. Like when they say that it is a flawless matte, they are 1,000,000% right. This baby is matte. However, it's not really drying, which is so funny to me because of the 2 other products that say that they are hydrating and have hyaluronic acid, those are drying on me. This one says it's matte, and I don't find this to be super drying on my skin. And unlike the Nars, it's actually pretty easy to blend in, even though it is matte and it is on the thicker side. It blends into my skin very nicely, and I really enjoy how this looks on my skin. When it is blended in, it has beautiful coverage. Like, it covers up absolutely everything I need it to cover up. It just kind of meshes and morphs into my skin, and it is a really beautiful finish. It also wears very beautifully throughout the day as well. The only thing I would change is the shade, and maybe I'll like it a little bit better in the summertime when I'm fake self-tanning and I'm a little bit on the deeper side. Maybe it'll match me a little bit more. But as of right now, in the pale winter time, this just really does not match me. But that is honestly the only thing that I would change. I think this is a very, very beautiful product. If you see it in Target or Walmart or anywhere else that this is sold, and you think you can find a shade that would match you, I really do recommend this. And that was it, you guys. That was my foundation roundup, talking about 6 foundations that I have tried over the past few months. I'm hoping that my explanations were good and explained to you what I liked, what I didn't like about it. So that way, if you have your eye on any of these and you haven't tried them and maybe you want to, that was helpful in deciding if it would be something that you would enjoy based off your preferences. I'm hoping that the application shots that I was including as I was speaking about all the foundations helped you out as well, so you could see it applied on my skin. Let me know, have you tried any of these down below in the comments? I am nosy. You guys know I love hearing from you down below. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.